Hey, this is Sanjeet, and we're going to talk about how to get smart with new SAP Sales Cloud and SAP Service Cloud. But before we get into that, right, let me give you some background. Why are we here, and what did we want to achieve? So, as you know, that we have a very successful product in SAP Sales and Service Cloud. 2 years ago, we started thinking, what's the next in it? Like, how do we make it ready for the next decade, really? And we started the journey approximately 2 years ago. And we set ourselves a couple of boundaries. Like one, of course, is driven by market and technicalities, right? What is the nature of this solution we want to have, which is going to serve us for the next decade? So I'll talk about the technical bits later, but let me say a little bit about what we wanted it to do for the customers. Now, we know, I mean, everybody here knows, there have been a lot of changes in the world, like, I mean, macroeconomic disruptions, business model transitions, and things like that, which is basically making the customer's behavior of buying, selling, supply chain dynamics, all of that has changed rapidly. And it's not coming to a stop. It's basically to a large degree accelerating. So the organizations we work with, US customers, they have a very different set of ideas on what their software should do. On top of that, and that makes it more relevant, we talk about what do they want from the software. There's all this changes happening around us, the environment, but also the fact that there is a huge flux in the whole workforce. What we have today, there are different sort of people working the same thing. So they do want a software which is very different than what it was yesterday, right? So their demands of the software, expectations of them is changing. What is changing? Initially, the business for many years, right? Since we know business, it's very largely driven by gut, tribal knowledge, institutional knowledge. All that, because of the workforce flux, has changed. Customers demand what we call data insights, process based selling. So, regardless who is doing it, they expect the business software, the enterprise software, to let them perform at the level they could have if they had like 5 year experience or 2 year experience or 3 year experience. So what is the keyword? They're looking for insights. They want people to have the software to do assist, inform, coach what they need to do, what data should be they looking at, what information they should be looking at, rather than they going hunting and looking for that. Present this so that they can do the job efficiently. And not only that, it's also to say, what do you do with that information, right? What do you do in terms of what you should do next? What is the information you should be looking at? Why is this important? And finally, empower, right? The world is full of information, and the sort of software solutions, the digital channels, all of giving you a mass amounts of information. How do I take this and make it better for the customer? Empower me to do the right thing at the right moment for the customer. That's one pillar of it. Insights. It's not about you've been doing this job for 20 years, you know intuitively what to do next. Yes, that's great, but our software should let everybody behave like that. And the second pillar of that really is, what do you do with that insights, right? So take all the information you have nicely laid out in front of you so that you can do the job at hand in the most effective way. But what's next? What do I do, right, with this information? So that's the other expectation. You have insights. We need to follow up with actions. How do I instruct to be productive, have impact, efficacy, efficiency in what I'm doing? That's the second pillar which we wanted to tackle head on to make sure that insights are useful to meet the business goals of the end user stakeholder who is interacting with the software, right? That's the second aspect of it. Now, once we looked at looking doing the new service cloud and sales cloud, we took ourselves these goals that's what we should at the bare minima support in terms of philosophy of what we are trying to do and what we are trying to achieve on behalf of our customers. So that's our manifestation in code and bits and bytes and service. We call SAP Service Cloud version 2. So what does it do? It's your one stop window to everything you need to do the customer service right. It has all the omni-channel engagement built into it: telephony, SMS, other interaction channels. It has unified workspace, which gets you the information about the customers, what has happened with the customer, the knowledge base, the next best actions, and also it guides you to what you should be doing. We call it case. A case can be a process which says, okay, if this is the kind of problem, this is the steps you go through to find the resolution for the customer in the most efficient time frame, with all the information presented to you in one place. You are not, I mean, as you'd see later in the slide, this information has different origination points and storage points, but you don't care about that. The customer doesn't care about that. They want a solution, and you are the vehicle to provide the solution, and we are the vehicle to give you everything you need in one place to provide that solution. Things like AI driven intelligence, process orchestration, these are the things which are helping you to get to the solution as quickly as possible. And on top of that, that's we know that everything evolves. It evolves hopefully for better things, and we certainly want to craft processes and software and services which help you achieve that. I think the most important bit is that it guides you, but it also measures you, measures the process, measures not you as a person as well, but also things like, is there an inefficiency in the system? Can it have been done in a better way? Should I have surfaced a different information at that time? Or should I change the process? All that is possible by our analytics and data mining capabilities, which we bring to bear, so that as efficient as the process today is, it can be better tomorrow and can serve more. So that's the vision and the implementation which guided us to deliver SAP Service Cloud version 2. You would see in the demo later. But let's go into a little bit more detail on what category of things which it does, right? So obviously, our big idea is customer service, right? And this is what we do in SAP Service Cloud V2. But of course, this is not in isolation. SAP, it has wealth of assets, and we, being part of the CX organization, have access to wealth of information and software pieces and services, which can let us expand into other areas like outcome-based service, after-sales service, enterprise service management. So customer service is one aspect of it. We see this as an end-to-end process which can do other things like after-sales service and enterprise service management and outcome-based service. An example would be after-sales service. Now, to the end user, his window into the world of this process is customer service, the Service Cloud V2. But it is interacting for the sole purpose of resolution to all the good things which S4 brings to the table: invoicing, knowledge, scheduling. All those things are part of clearly your back office, but it's been surfaced and orchestrated by customer service. And finally, field service, which actually if a person needs to get there to do the job, that's done by field service, but that's all transparent to you. You are looking at providing a service and as a resolution to the customer, and that's what customer service lets you do. Jumping a little bit into the next part of it, Sales Cloud. Again, the same philosophy applies. It's all about empowering insights, data-based decision making, and all the information you need in one place. So Service Cloud V2 is what we have released. It has two real interaction points. One is your desktop, of course, which is a completely refreshed UI user experience, tailor-made to make you more efficient. Less clicks, more information, more actions, and the mobile bit, which is totally reimagined, 100% native solution, which you'll see very fluid and very much like an application you'd expect, which you are used to in the regular your day-to-day world. So, for example, let's talk a little bit about what it's doing. So, our key capabilities, as we believe, is mobility. Clearly, we are very proud of it. This gives you on the road every access which you need to the system on the go in a very consumer-friendly, consumer-like UI, which is basically built up ground up natively. So that's one thing. Productivity, again, as I was mentioning, the goal is to be very rigorous about Why should it take 5 clicks? Why? What is the end user trying to do which requires them to click one more? Why can't it be 4? Why can't it be 3? Why can't it be 2? Why can't it be 0? That's what the rigor we have applied so that you could be productive. You are not there to work the system. You are there to sell or service a customer. That's what we want this to be, the front and center. That's the information and activity we want you to do rather than work the system. Integration always has been our bread and butter. This has been our USP. It doesn't change. We bring information wherever it is in SAP world, non-SAP world, to the point of impact when you need it, so that you don't go hunt and pick, and it's part of the process, right? Insights, as I talked about, it's not a data collection software or a form and a report. It actually must give insight. So the whole process we have created, guided selling sales methodology, is to make sure that you are working on your leads to make it become to make him go to opportunity stage. And once you're in opportunity stage, the system guides you in with all the information you need, all the things you must do to make it forward, go into the next stages, and ultimately go to order, invoice, and billing. So that's the idea, that we are not only talking about getting data and giving you back the same data, but help you guide so that you can be more successful at it. And obviously, one of the reasons we focus so much on that is one of the things which we talked a couple of minutes back, is the workforce is changing. The people who are doing things today were not the same people who are doing things together, but there is a lot of organizational knowledge and organizational process which makes things move forward, and we want to surface that, guide the person regardless of their experience to adhere to the process, evolve the process, and be very consistent about it. Real-time analytics, again, everything which we talk about is a continuum. We let you be the best you can be, but we measure our performance, the software performance, not in terms of technicalities. We do that too, but not here. That's what I meant. What I meant is really, can this process be better? Do you really need 3 steps to go to the 4 steps? Can we delete the 3 steps so you can be more efficient? That's what our insight, analytics, data mining capabilities brings to the table. So that's the continuum from starting and completing, measuring, making it better, and again, right? So that's we want to talk about. Again, in the same spirit, SAP is a the beauty of SAP is it brings to table vast amounts of resources, services, which let us expand what we natively do good, which is account-based selling, to extend into self-service sales, inbound sales. And on the right, we list down what's SAP solutions it works well with to make that happen. But the idea is it's not limited to account-based selling. It's also doing all kinds of other selling in conjunction with the rest of the assets we have on SAP side. That was the what I would call the why we did it, what we did it, and now a little bit about how we did it and what was the technical aspects of this thing which we worked on. So once we started the journey in earnest on what we want to do, the market things which we need to basically call ourselves the best in the breed in terms of market and solutions, but also technically, which is not really visible to the end customer or things like that. But we wanted to make sure we take this opportunity to get us prepared foundationally to the next decade. Now, the considerations we had technically was, first of all, it would be hosted on hyperscalers. So you have the scale challenge are things of past, right? So we can make ourselves available globally anywhere with great response times and great scale and flexibility, elasticity. All those were part of the fundamentals we said that we will want to measure us against. So it's absolutely hyperscaler first hosted solution. Has advanced business capabilities, which we talked about in the last 10 minutes. But there, its intelligence, for example, is not something which we bolted on afterthought. It's really built into the foundation of that things. That was what we wanted to do. Things like cloud qualities, CI/CD. Its upgrade is no more a massive activity. It's a non-event. Now that's happening because the quality of the service we bring to the table supports CI/CD on their own. It's a microservice-based architecture. It's all the major services, whether opportunities, activities, things like contacts are all microservices based, so they independently live. We can independently scale them. They have resilience built into it. All those things is what makes us possible to craft the solutions which meet the need of the customers at the moment in time. And a very big aspect of that is things change. As we see, things have been changing in the last 3-4 years, but we can be pretty sure they will change again, and they will continue changing. When we are building software for the next decade, at least the foundation for the next decade, what we want to make sure is this adaptable? Is it would it be able to do things which really we don't know today, but we know for sure things will change? Is this going to be adaptable to that thing? And the answer is yes. That was the quality we built into the product by doing 100% microservice architecture, micro UIs, microservice architecture, API first, event based communication rather than API call based communication. So ultimately, what you get out of that is a composable application. So to the point that sales and service application you saw are basically a composition of this foundation. So the joke I talk about mostly is an opportunity and activity are related as an example, but they know nothing about each other. They live separately as microservices, exposed as micro front ends. But once they are composed in a Salesforce application, Salesforce automation applications like Sales Cloud, that's when they know each other. So they can independently live, but they're composed into a Salesforce automation application. Same with service, case, account, contact, ticket, interaction. They're all microservices exposed by the foundation and assembled into, composed into a service cloud application. And that's why we believe the composition, the composability with low code, no code, microservices, and the basically refactoring of that is that it's what brings to the table this composability, so you as a customer can compose it to fit your needs. We can keep composing as we learn and evolve and as the market evolves. So this is the solution which we want to say confidently that this is ready for the next decade, because primarily one, it's 100% microservices space, and second, it's composable. Two main qualities which gives it longevity. So that was a little intro into what we have done with the new versions of Sales Cloud and Service Cloud, and what were the motivations and what drove us to do that, and what were the qualities we were after. But of course, SAP is a big family here. So please take the opportunity to learn a little bit more about our environment and what you can do more to, so that we can go ahead in future and talk more about how more compositions can be done, how you can utilize Sales Cloud, Service Cloud in the best possible way. Thank you. It was great to be here. I hope you got a lot of information today. And I want to finish this up with a video of the solutions. You can really see it in skin on what you just heard and take the next step on really experiencing yourself with it. Thank you.